I didn't even know how to process it. I showed my boyfriend. He was just like, that's Oprah. And I was like, I mean, we both just like stared at each other for like a minute. And then I got a text from my brother who was like, it's basically as close as you can get to God. So you should be proud of yourself. So
she stumbled upon a little girl's fairy garden and made everybody's world a little brighter. Kelly Kenney, aka Sapphire, and Emily Pauls, aka Eliana's mom. You both, thank you so much for taking time out of your week to join us, and thank you for spreading joy during a time that we really need it, especially on social media. What a whirlwind week for you both. How are you all doing?
Going viral, or like, you know, being a part of this viral sensation is just as much fun as it is exhausting. So yeah, it's been a ride.
It's been a lot, but it's like Emily said, it's been a really fun ride at the same time.
Kelly, if you can, take us back to that night. You know, you're walking some feelings out outside, you stumble upon a fairy garden. Start at the beginning and talk us through this whole experience.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've been going through a rough patch and definitely couldn't sleep. So I was just going out around the neighborhood for walks at night and listening to music. And I would just kind of go up and down the street. And at the end of my street, I found this little fairy garden. It was actually the little pinwheel that caught my attention. And I was like, what is that? And looked down and realized how well set up all of it was and how cute all the little notes were on the tree that Emily had left about her daughter who had created the garden. And I was just so touched. And since the beginning of the pandemic, I've thought about how it's affecting the children. I mean, we keep talking about how it's affecting all of us, and nobody has talked a whole lot about how this is going to affect them and their like ability to process things in the future and what they think about all of this growing up. Are they going to be traumatized or super paranoid? So I've kept that in mind this entire time. And so seeing that and finding that note and thinking about her not able to go to the park, not able to go to school or see her friends, just made me want to try to do something a little bit special for her. So I had no idea if she was going to see it or not, but I started smiling on my walk home, thinking about what my fairy name should be. So yeah.
What did that first message say?
The first message said that I was a fairy who had come to live in the tree because she had made it so pretty, and that I was given wizard dice, or dice from a wizard, magical dice, and that if she could do these 4 things for me, then I would leave them for her.
Wow.
I had started making dice in quarantine, and so I had like a box of ones that weren't totally perfect or didn't come out of the molds perfectly. So I was like, these are all sparkly, she might like these. So
we put it out there. Our whole community has really come around it and had been putting things in the garden. And so we would always we would go on our daily walks in the morning, and we always would check the fairy garden to see if there's anything new and see what's going on. And people had left like little thank you notes and stuff like that before. And so but yeah, this one was different because Kelly made it super cute, like put it in a little bottle and had like some fairy dust in it. And so yeah, Eliana was super excited, and she sprinkled all the dust on the on the fairy garden, and just like, oh, you know, put the fairy dust. And then and then we did those things that day. Like it was really sweet, like little tasks, like do 5 nice things for somebody you care about, or do you know. And so we wrote her a note back with what those things were. She drew her a picture, and we like set it back in the little bottle. And yeah, and then the dice were there in the next morning.
So how long did this go back and forth? How many notes were there and exchanges were there before you guys were able to safely meet up in person?
What do you think, Emily? Like 20?
Wow.
There was a number, yeah, maybe like 15, 20 interactions. I didn't want to overwhelm them and have it be like every single night. I still wanted it to be a little bit magical. So I tried to give them some space too.
Wow. Was Sapphire the talk of your household? I would imagine Eliana probably was just solely focused on that for the whole time being, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, she still talks about Sapphire, and like just the other day, she's like, I want to go visit her and her new tree and all this stuff because we talked about she moved and all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, and she'll tell anyone who'll listen about it. So
Oh my goodness. Well, good thing there's social media. Does she understand what's happening and how the world is so touched by this story?
not a clue, not a clue. I mean, we were kind of like trying to figure out like how to like, you know, especially as we were like grappling with it the first like day, we were like, wow, this is cool. Like we should like kind of like, I don't know how to like really tell her about it. So we kind of decided, hey, like, you know, we share this, your story was, you know, or like the little book that she wrote, like, really these things were shared and like, and so many people saw it and all this stuff. And she looks at me and she's like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I don't. But yeah, we couldn't fathom like so many people. She thinks that 1,012 is like the biggest number. And so she goes, I was like, more than 1,012 people have seen this. And she's like, wow, that's a lot.
Oh my goodness. Kelly, when did you realize this started making a difference in your quarantine and kind of what you were going through?
After the first couple exchanges, I realized that I had something to look forward to. I was sitting there like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I should order more glitter. Oh, you know, it'd be really cool if I found like a little bracelet and left that. And then it would be a whole nother scavenger hunt. Or like, I realized that I was sitting there and like super excited to write the next letter and to see what she said, because her responses were incredible every single time. So, and her mom's handwriting is like incredibly beautiful. I keep telling her that, but I was like, mine is like super scribbly every single letter. And I felt so bad that she's like learning to read and trying to read my handwriting. But
Emily, what would you say this experience has meant for you and your daughter?
It's just been such a treasure getting to know Kelly through these exchanges. I mean, all of the persona of Sapphire just is Kelly, you know, just in fairy form. And so I felt like we've really gotten close to her and felt like she's part of our family in so many ways. And so it's just been really beautiful. And I've like, I mean, we were already set to treasure this experience forever, you know, like viral or not, this was so meaningful to us. And so, yeah, and it's just been, I don't know, like this friendship has given Eliana, I know, like a ton of confidence in different ways. And I know that Kelly has really drawn out a lot of her creativity and really encouraged things. It's been, I mean, something as a parent, like we love and dote on our children. We love, like, I see how amazing she is. And it's just, it's another thing to have someone else, especially someone who we, you know, have only just met through these exchanges, like be able to see that in her and encourage that. And so that's meant a ton to us as parents and to Eliana, I know.
Kelly, what's it like to hear that?
Well, I'm trying not to cry. I keep telling Emily, I've been crying all day. I mean, I haven't been able to see any of my family. I had to cancel 2 flights back home to Norway to visit my family and to see any of them, and I can't visit anybody else. So having them as my little pseudo family right now has just been incredible. And all of the things we have in common, like we had no idea. And the fact that they have been playing Dungeons and Dragons with her, which is what the dice are for, that I was making, I was like, these people are so cool. But of course, like only the coolest parents would be doing this kind of thing with their kids. So yeah, each time we've corresponded, it's been like, well, me too. Well, we do that too. Like everything is just having them and hearing her say it too. Just, yeah.
How did the in-person meeting come about, and what was that experience like when you finally were able to connect safely in person?
I was telling Emily while I was sitting in my car how nervous I was, because I was like, I don't want her to be afraid of me. I don't even know what to say. I don't want her to like clam up and like run away from me. So when I walked up, we had kind of been texting, and it was funny. I saw them find the note and they kind of walked away, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the car now. And walked over and put the package down. And when I looked over my shoulder and saw her looking at me, I could have totally just broken down in tears, the way she looked at me. but I didn't want to scare her. So I wanted to get down onto her level and just say, you know, are you Eliana? And, oh no, you caught me leaving the gift. So I was like totally at a loss for words. My hands were shaking, and at first I could tell she was a little unsure and nervous, but like after a few minutes, we just immediately were chatting like we'd always been there together. So yeah, seeing her was incredibly emotional for me, and I was trying so hard not to cry.
Emily, I have to ask, do you guys have a fairy garden at the new house?
Good question. Yeah, we've talked about making our new fairy garden. We just put something out. It's like we don't have the same like access to like the, you know, like a tree like in front, like on the sidewalk kind of thing, but we're working on that. But we have a little tree in our front yard where we put a couple things just today. So yeah.
Well, maybe one of these days, Queen Oprah could possibly drop something off for you guys. I have to ask you, what was
oh my gosh,
reaction when you saw Oprah tweeted at you guys and invited you to Disneyland?
I didn't even know how to process it. I showed my boyfriend. He was just like, that's Oprah. And I was like, we both just like stared at each other for like a minute. And then I got a text from my brother who was like, it's basically as close as you can get to God. So you should be proud of yourself. So
True.
So yeah, still mind blowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Emily, what were your guys' thoughts?
Oh, I was yeah, I don't know, flabbergasted doesn't like cover it. I was just like looking at my phone. I'm not even on Twitter. I literally got a Twitter like a day ago because I was like, maybe I should figure this out. I don't know. But Kelly like texted it to me, and first all I saw was Oprah, and I just was like, and I didn't even read what she had said. And then I showed my husband. He's like, did you see what Oprah said? And I was like, oh my gosh, like she this is incredible. So I don't know.
Does Eliana know who Oprah is?
You know, it's funny. I sent Kelly back one of like the Oprah gifts, you know, like the she's so excited. And she was like, what is it? What is it? She wanted to see that. So she knows that gift is Oprah. And but she has no idea. Eliana has a great memory already. But this is no doubt is going to be cemented into her memory forever. Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere.